Mad random. I know. It was an ADHD moment.
Yeah, we nerds in the hood. Hood shit happen.
Hood shit happen. We gotta be aware of when it does. You know. Anyway, let's go ahead and get it started with our usual intro that most of you already know, and we're gonna let you first timers in on the madness that is your boy Mark Black
and McGee,
Young Dev,
the nerds. In the hood, coming to you live from Common Sense Studios here in the Bronx. Let's just get right down to it. We have a special guest in the building. No, we did not replace Ashawn. That's not what happened. This is a special guest, okay? We did not replace him. We'll bring that up in the next episode. For now, we're going to focus on our guest this evening. So you go ahead and state your name, brother.
I'm Phillip Nicholson.
Yes, sir.
Hey, yo, welcome, kid.
Yeah, welcome.
So happy for having me. You know, it's funny because when Ant first told us that, you know, you was our first interview of the year, and it's I wish we would have got you during February, but we're still off the cusp of February. It's March 1st, but you know, it's still fresh. Black History Month still there. And when I saw your book, and I told you when I came here, what drew me was the cover.
Appreciate
like
it.
Fire, like the whole, like the aesthetic, the colors, like dope. So I was like, damn, I need to get my hands on this book. I already read a couple of pages, and I'm like, oh, this is it. Like, as a kid's book, I know you're gonna jump into it, but I feel like this is definitely something for the kids. Like, and I can't wait for you to talk about it. Honestly.
Appreciate that.
Yo. Yeah, man. I mean, I love how you just said Phillip Nicholson like it was just some little light, but I wanted you to hype yourself up a little bit more than that, bro. Like,
I'm still getting used to it, so I'm gonna say like Arthur, newly published Arthur Phillip Nicholson.
Yeah, that's right.
Of the book, the children's book, The First People.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Appreciate you. Thank you, brothers.
A lot of people say they want to write books, and then like, you know, sometimes it doesn't pan out. But the fact that you had a vision and you did that, and it came out.
Thank you.
You know, all good praises. But first time on camera or not? Like
no, it's not. It's just it's first time in this type of setting.
Right.
So it's
like close quarters, you know.
Yeah, and learning how to maneuver in the world. Yeah, as a newly published author. So.
I like that because I was gonna get, one of my questions was gonna be like, you know, how does it feel to have published this book? Like, you know what I'm saying, how I know this is your first book, and I know it, to write in general is a lot for some people, and then to write something and go through the process of getting it published is a whole nother step. So like, you know, how's that new feeling, that new like, yo, I wrote a book, like
it takes some. It's weird, bro. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it straight because we grew up together. I'm gonna speak straight. You guys are cool.
Yeah. What's up?
Thank you.
So the most, it's weird, man, because it's like, yeah, you did it, but when the book is not in front of you, it's kind of like, all right, you know, you just go like life is lifing, and then you see the book and it's like, oh shit, like you wrote a book, you know? So it's still like that new car smell type feel. It also has been opening a lot of doors for me. Like I don't remember. I haven't committed to memory just yet the statistics on how many Black authors of children books there are, but it's like it's a small number, and just to be of that category gives me great pride, you know. So, and especially with the content in which I have in my book and the goal that I seek to establish with writing and putting this book out into the world, and having people return the feedback that I intended is just, it's like validation every day. It's like self-fulfillment every day. It feels great. And the fact that I'm here because of the book is another, you know, so it's just like, yo, it
was meant to be, bro. It was meant to be.
I mean, like, you paving the way, like you said, because growing up, you probably wouldn't think like how many Black authors talking about like in the culture of like, you know, the Black community and things of that nature, especially like history wise, like thinking about like growing up, like how many times have you really come across that? So you paving that way, even the kids that come across for it, like they see that like, oh, I can do that type thing, you know? And you like opening other people's eyes to like maybe either other community, other genre, other diasporas, the people that wouldn't know maybe, you know, that type of history, they see that and like, oh, they learned something new. So, you know, it's like, it's always a good feeling.
Yeah, I find it, you know, I find it interesting because even for me, like, I might pick up a book and look at the author, but you don't know if the author is Black or white or what their ethnicity is. It's just a name. You know, with your book, you have a picture of yourself on the back, which I find is very amazing because it lets them know, like, someone of the same culture wrote this. Like, we're coming from the same space. This is possible for you too. Not only just understanding what the book is about, but understanding that this is written from a dude from the Bronx. Like, my heritage is what it is, and I wrote this amazing book.
Yeah, I'm a Jamaican.
And I wanted to get into that.
Real quick, sorry to cut you off. Two things. The reason why I chose this picture is because what does the author look like? I'm here sitting with my brothers right here on the Nerds in the Hood podcast in a dope studio with artwork on the. If you guys can see the artwork in the Bronx over here close to Hunts Point, so it doesn't and we come from different walks of life, so you can walk by an author every day and not know what he looks like. This is what the author felt like wearing today, And then to go back to something you said, yes, kids will possibly see the book and say, I can do that too. But what I find, even though that was my goal, a lot of my peers have been taking the energy behind the book, Phil, I didn't think you were gonna write a book. That's amazing. I always had a book in mind that I wanted to write. And you just see the switch go off in their head, yo, you know what? I'm gonna write that book. That's another thing I'm getting used to too. Because it's you can look at it two ways, because there's light and dark in everything. You can look at it oh shit, what do you see in me that makes you feel oh, you did it so I could do it. Then it's yo, what do you see in me that makes you say yo, you do it so I know I could do it too. You know what I mean? So it's it's kind of that weird feeling yo, is that you trying to front me? Or it's
I can see. I get what you're saying. When you was just saying, I was wait, what is he talking about? Nah, but I feel you. It's it's kind of like a slight, if he could do it, I could do something. It's like a knock-off, but I feel like people will be no, you know what? Maybe they be think, like I said, people have a idea in their mind, damn, maybe can I put pen to paper and think of can I write down my notes? Because not everyone could do that. You could say you could do it, but not everyone could do that.
Shout out to Bold Publishing, they make it easy.
Oh, okay.
You feel me? That's
what was that? What was the company?
Bold Publishing. They make it easy. It's ran by a tremendous black woman, and she does a great job at making it foolproof. It just made it. I feel with their assistance, it expedited the process that I thought would take years. You know what I mean? I did it within a year, which was amazing. And full circle, the reason why at times I felt have that question in mind is because where we grew up, Aunt could tell you I wasn't the most polished individual. I was a very challenging kid. You feel me? We went to a Mount St. Michael.
I was trying to get to that. I was trying to get to it. I was about to say, before we really get into the book, I want them to know a little bit about you. Okay. What part of the Bronx are you from? Like you said, this gentleman right here and me have been friends for a long time. We did fucking 4 years together. It sounds like we went to jail, but
sound like 4 years for real.
We went to Mount St. Michael's, and people who graduate from private schools, they it's a different atmosphere. You can't even front. You grow up in a different atmosphere. And for us, some people don't like to say it, but it was an all boys school, and we made a lot of good friends in there, and they always say the word brotherhood.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up in that atmosphere, brotherhood just sounded like a funny ass word to say.
Yeah.
It was just oh yeah, whatever. But as we got older, and me and Phil, for instance, we kept that brotherhood for real. We really stayed connected, pulled up on each other, had these intellectual conversations, and I was just really proud to see my brother make a book.
It's crazy when you think. It's funny you say that, because you think about how long we've been alive, and you think about the people you grew up with, and I've known people from the block that I would think damn, y'all, I really hope they do something with their lives and legit do a 180 and do something unexpected. I'm yo, I did not know you had that in you. So you never know what people are going through, what they're capable of, until you see that the growth right in front of you, because you've seen them where they at, could possibly at their lowest point, where they turned stuff around and did something completely unexpected. And it's good to see that transition going from especially at a young age when we're all kids, teenagers doing dumb stuff in the streets and like and those are all learning experiences as we grow on. So it's just like we pick up those certain things and we could turn into something if we want to. So it's a dope thing to see.
Facts. So let's talk about what hood you grew up in.
All right, so I'm from Uptown. North Bronx, the Wakefield area of the Bronx, White Plains Road, from Little Jamaica. That's where I'm from.
Beef patties and oxtail.
Bacon, you feel me? That's where I grew up. Let's see, I got into, we met in Mount, I got into Mount, all honors classes until I figured out, I was seeing kids go home with light book bags, and I was going home with 2 bags. I'm like, yo, this is not it. Like, how are they doing
those AP classes?
Yeah, bro. So when I was like, once I figured that out, I was like, yeah, being the smartest kid is it's not
especially growing up in the Bronx though.
Bro, that's I'm if I gotta get active, I got I got this heavy bag, and then I had the string bag.
That's what you do. You just take that bag and just throw it.
And then they gave me a half fare Metro card, bro. And
the half fare, not the full one.
What was that?
Then
The 16, right?
41.
No, the 41.
41. The 16 to the White Plains. The 41 would take you feel me, straight down.
And they give you that full fare. That's crazy.
You good for this one bus ride?
Nah, we went.
Was that Mount? Mount's cheap, yo. Mount's cheap.
Same rate. At that time, my parents was paying $550 a month, and that seemed like a lot. Now them shits is like $700.
Yeah. Yo, you see how inflation in the city is crazy.
Sorry, Dad. If I had the mindset I had now, I would.
Right, Mom,
I apologize,
bro.
We're all products of.
Bro, I say the same thing when I first started doing this shit. I was like, damn, bro, if I could have figured this out, if I had the same work mentality I have now, my brain, I would have been a different person.
Don't get me wrong. I feel like we just knew what we wanted to do. I knew that school just wasn't it. I had an entrepreneurial mind. I was working. I was one of the dudes that drove to, you know what I mean? So I knew I wanted to make money, and me sitting in here listening to you talk about rocks and stuff, and you know what I mean? Mr. Connie, all that class. I'm like, bro, I don't see how this is gonna help me.
You feel
me?
I ain't gonna lie.
They didn't necessarily groom you to understand how to use college.
Even the fact that they make you take religion classes. I always used to be there bro, why I get the Bible already? I'm smart enough to understand it the first time around. When we still study it. And then as soon as you graduate, bro, you realize that those 4 years of that one class was absolutely garbage.
Yeah, you forget most of it. Unless you go to church every week.
Or if you want to
even going to church every week, you don't need the educational part. You just need to understand and get it, but you don't need to fucking write this essay.
Right.
You know what that means though? Then they would probably say go to public school. When you go to Catholic school, that's what they're gonna give you.
I mean
that's just how it is though, because if you think about it, I would assume, I can't really talk about y'all parents, but I can talk about mine. Under the assumption back in the day, my parents felt like a Catholic school would probably be the best route for me.
Same.
Just because the DOE system is just not up to par. They like to broadcast the Catholic school system is they're gonna be studious. They concentrate on the studies. It's kind of like a regime type thing where your kids are gonna get on track. But which is crazy because I've met some of the most gangster people in Catholic school, gang members, all that, and it's just
ever, yo.
And I'm just
how did they get in here?
Gang members meeting up after school.
I always said that I felt like my parents sent me to that school because they were scared that I would become a gangster in public school, and I'm just like.
If only you knew. My friend. Yo, but I'm not gonna lie. The best thing my dad did was take me out of public school because I feel like it. Although all the friends that I associated were from the same walks of life as I am. They, you know what I mean, had the same engagements outside of school as, you feel me, the hood people did or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I just knew my mindset was different in public school as far as there was no discipline aspect of it where we had to shave, we had to have our pants a certain way, we had, you know what I mean? So the little shit that didn't matter, it helped you in the like.
Nah,
in the long
it
run.
definitely. But don't get me
Whereas
wrong.
in public school, like I know,
Yeah.
like yo, next year, like yo, listen, I'm getting a little buzz. I'm about to turn up.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And my dad was like, nope. I was like,
And don't get it twisted. It definitely like helped me a lot. Like Catholic school definitely helped me a lot, especially like going forward. But I just know like growing up, it's just like there's you did have the public schools and you had the Catholic schools. There was like some differences, but you would really see the same people in the Catholic school and outside in the public school. So it's like it's the same thing. It's just like how they taught you. But yeah, that's why you get religion classes. That's how you get the religion classes.
Let's talk a little bit about your heritage. Like I know you're heavy on your where you come from and your culture. I'm also of Caribbean descent. I know what it's like to grow up in a West Indian home. Get that ass beat a couple times, you know what I'm saying, get in trouble. But yeah, I wanted to just ask you, like, touch a little bit more about how it was to just grow up in the home that you came from and like, well, how did that affect the man that you are today?
Very, very cultural focused. Like knowing that you're Jamaican, your mother and your father are Jamaican.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So it's like, people say you're American. I'm like, all right, whatever you say, but I'm Jamaican though. You feel me? Like, however you want to cut it. This is how I identify. You feel me? And that's from before it was a thing. And that's
are you fully Jamaican? 100%?
Yep.
Nice.
Go get my dual citizenship whenever.
Yeah. That's your big deal, bro.
I would last year. Early last year.
That's dope.
Yeah, I had a little. Actually, Bold Publishing had something out there.
Oh yeah.
They had with some of their new authors and stuff.
Nice.
They reach out to out there. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But yeah, Jamaican heavy culture. We learn how to cook, learn how to clean. You know what I mean? You don't really need anybody for things self-sufficient. The household, I would say. You know how it is. West Indians, they're not really affectionate, but like the love is different. The love language is like really harsh. Like, yo, get up.
Affection is not the word they use. So
they show they care by actually yelling at you.
No, but
like doing the stuff.
Providing like their love, like yo, look, you don't need anything. You want a lot of things, but you don't need anything. Right. And I had that kind of in turn led to the entrepreneurial mindset where it's like, all right. You're right. I don't need these things, but I want that. Like I want the PlayStation. I want the Game Boy. I want the games and all that stuff.
You working for what you want.
Yeah, so like that prompted me, and my mom would hit me with if you want it, you got to give me half. So now like I bet I want the Nokia phone. Mm-hmm. So I was selling Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. At one time, me and my cousin figured out how to counterfeit. Like it was just weird, like some
counterfeit Pokemon.
Bro, we were young. Like, it was the craziest thing, bro. But like it was working, like, and I was able to get the things that I wanted, the games. It was really just games. I'm not even gonna lie. At that age, like it was just games.
Yeah, back in the day, that's what it was.
Back in the day,
either focus on video games or kicks. Like those are the two things that you really spent your bread on. Like you want to get fresh and have the nicest kicks on the block, or you spent video games because you ain't getting both, my man.
Unless you get a job.
I was like when we had to be in one room, so it was like I want all these games because. All the cousins, it's like that atmosphere of like, yo, we all together doing this, and yo, I couldn't beat this boy, yo, do this for me, bro, or like, yo, let's beat this game this weekend because I gotta go home on Sunday or whatever it is. So it's like it was just games, man, like, and it was just different back in the day when you're playing games.
It's a different time.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sorry.
The games back in the day, I felt like like you said, it was just different. There was a different connect because there was no online play. There was no like, yo, when I get to my crib, hit me and we gonna get online. Nah, it was. I got this game and you got this game. We can either trade for a little bit or you gonna pull up to my crib. We gonna run this 2-man.
What was like some of your favorite games growing up?
I like shooter games. Okay. I like racing games.
Okay.
I was never like the best at because my cousins they would whoop my ass at all like fighting games, bro. So it was just like like I would get in like I was nice. I'll probably be nice outside the house. But in the house, like I'm the wackest in everything. Like I'm talking about Super Smash, Marvel vs. Capcom, Mortal Kombat, all of them. Tekken, I suck. Like they would just whoop my ass, bro. So it was more so like I'll just stick to like sports. You know what I mean? I could probably, I probably could go back and forth. Sports, boxing. I love boxing. I'm still waiting for him to Come on, like,
to run that back.
Yeah, let's figure it out. We need some boxing games.
You're not wrong, man.
Yeah.
I do miss a good boxing game.
Yeah, they definitely have changed it up. They definitely have changed it up.
It's UFC or bust now. So if you ain't getting a UFC game, you can forget that boxing.
I'm good with UFC. I feel like once you figure out the little algorithm, you can win every match.
Yeah,
you know
it's just a submission shit. Is just once you get somebody in a submission, you're like, you know what? Good game, bro. Let's say.
Yo, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for tuning in.
It's too much work.
Just for the people that just like showing up, we got our boy Phillip Nicholson here, author of The First People, his first book, and just an amazing dude out of the Bronx doing dope shit. And so we just brought him in to highlight some of the things. I'm gonna change gears a little bit.
Wait, hold on. Before you do that, I want to ask one question. You talk about like growing up, what you like to do. I know you wrote this book. Any books that while you were growing up that you love reading, or like anything that kind of inspired you, that kind of put the thought in of like, damn, maybe I can be an author, like anything of.
Well, what your first question? Reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton.
Rainbow. Yep.
They had the book Follow the Drinking Gourd. Is one that I will never forget because it had like a song, like however he did his thing. You feel me? And then I remember going to Miss Goff's class in PS21. And she was, she's Dr. Goff now. She decked out in like Afrocentric, African themed patterns and dolls, and like they had like everything was black, bro, pro-black. You had she had Follow a Drinking Gourd, like the book itself in there on her shelf, and I was just like, oh.
What is that book? I never heard of that.
They talking about the star constellation, how the slaves used to follow it to get to the north or whatever. Like I guess like had to do with the North Star, but if you look at it, look like a big spoon.
Yeah.
That's what I remember from the book. But yeah, she had it in her class, and it just like, you know, TV was kind of like a new thing when we were growing up, so it's kind of, you see it on TV and then you see it in real life. Like that was a huge, like, yo, I just see, you know, that's crazy, it's real. So that's how I remember feeling like that. And then as far as why or what led to me contributing in my work to the world is because I this is a way for me to live forever. You feel me? And the goal is to make your impression on the world while you have the time to. You feel me? Because God forbid I walk out here and then it's like that. Yeah. Like, you know,
you're leaving something behind. It's like your legacy type thing.
And I don't have no children yet. Not yet. So it's like, you feel me? This is my first baby.
Yeah, it's a fact.
That's like you put that there.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you a little bit more about you know, I know you were very like spiritual tapped in dude, even down to your jewelry. So I wanted you to explain a little bit about what you're wearing right now, because I know like some of those gems and stuff have meaning to it, and like a lot of people, you know, sometimes walk past people with that style and they'd be like, look at this weirdo, or look, why does that person have that on them? But they don't understand, like, even me personally, I don't understand what each rock, what each gem resembles. So like, you know,
I'm not gonna lie, I mean, at this point, I feel, in regards to my gemstone, is an amethyst, it's a tiger eye, and this is a blue jewelries cluster. All my jewelry, this is copper jewelry, my copper mason ring, copper bracelet. They said copper is a good conduit of energy. However, for my rings and my gemstone jewelry, I like to just say, they all my gemstone jewelry serve me for whatever specific purpose that I need. You feel me? Whether I'm putting out energy, blocking energy, or receiving it, transmuting or receiving. They either help me with mental clarity, creativity, being grounded as far as courage, you know, I mean, just more so me being a stronger individual to go out into the world. You feel me? Whether I'm blocking all the bullshit or I'm trying to amplify the good that I have in myself, which can also work as when you get, you feel me? Because there's balance. You could go left, you feel me? You get caught up in traffic, you might not be the nicest person. So it's like, it's just kind of like a physical reminder of like, yo, this is like an everyday practice for me. You feel me? It looks cool and it's a good conversation piece, but at the same time, like, it's a reminder for me, like, yo, you got to be on your team daily for the best part. Like,
I love the fact that you just said the copper is a conductor of energy. So you wear all the copper because you feel that it attracts good energy, or is it portray like you're pushing out good energy?
It helps it flow, in a sense. But yes, you can receive energy as well. So how I want these to serve me is I want my energy to keep flowing in a way where I'm spiritually secure and guarded, so I can face whatever I'm running into or walking into.
I love that.
You know, they're not gonna call you weird with those.
I mean, I could care less.
No, I'm not saying that we would, but please understand that there is people that walk down the block, and he could walk down the block right now and someone will walk by him and be like, that copper jewelry is amazing, it's beautiful, and I understand it. And the guy right behind that guy will be like, what is that? That guy looks like a bum. Like he's wearing fake jewelry. You know what they're gonna say? Come on, it's the hood. You know what the hood's gonna say? Look, my man Thanos over here. Shit
like that. I love that one. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because the first person that hit like, what do you think you Thanos? Like, you don't let me slap my finger.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. He gonna turn around and be like, oh, I'll slap my fingers right now. You go on there. All right, I see you.
Before I got my finger tats, it was more so like I definitely had like at least 4 fingers on this hand.
Was the finger tats have meaning?
Yeah. So it's manifest peace, transmute love. And this when I did it right here. So when I'm driving, you kind of
see it. Yeah. I love that.
Subconsciously, you feel me? Unconsciously.
That makes sense.
In there.
I love that. So I got another question for you. So look, we're gonna go back to the book on this. What came first? Did the title of the book come first, or did you write the book first and then give it a title?
The title was in the story because I was more so like I want to write a story about the first people, and I want to I want to write a story about the first people, and I want like these key factors in here, and I wanted to like the outline, the body of the idea was literally like that. I was actually chilling with Kush. You feel me? Yeah. I was Corey, one of my cousins. We went to school together for everybody. But we was chilling and we was talking about it, and I was like, I want to write this story, and this is what I want to be about. And then from there, you just start writing. You know what I mean? And then you link with the publisher, and then the whole publisher send you the outline, and then you fit the outline, and then they say, yo, this is what we need. Whoop-de-whoop. While we're doing this, find the illustrator. So in that, me wanting to write a story about the first people, I was like, yo, I'm gonna name it The First People, because I want you to walk. And then I needed the cover to look the way it did, because I wanted to have the energy of prompting people to pick it up. Even if you don't buy it, that's cool. But if you just pick it up, I just want you to pick it up.
Right.
Just to touch it and spine through it real quick.
It's that connection of eye to hand. It's like I see this and something about it attracts me to it. Like I might not buy it, but I just want to have it in my hand and look through it real quick and just understand what maybe, in their mind, just understand where did this person come from with this idea,
or tap into the end. Because I'm a firm believer that books have energy. You know what I mean? So the energy that I put in this book is more so one of like insight, love, of course, and I just wanted like a peace and self-love. You feel me? Especially for our people. Not saying it's not for everyone else. However, I'm putting the focus point on our people, our children, the children that look like us. I want them to see representation of themselves as they turn the pages. Like feel good and seeing little boys and girls that look like you every time you turn the paper, and then you look on the back and you see like, yo, this look like my uncle. Some kid actually say, oh, you look like my dad, when I was doing a reading at a school downtown. So I was like, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, you know what I mean? Your dad could be an author. Tell you know what I mean? Yeah. So
that's important though. That's definitely important.
I definitely love that thought, man. I'm as fellow black man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like I grew up. I'm a little older than you guys, obviously, but I grew up in an era where it wasn't a lot of representation for us in books. And we still had to read something so you could be educated, but you never really got a chance. You rarely got a chance to read something where there was a black person on the cover, and you could be like, "Yo, this is dope. I want to see what this kid gets into." Excuse me. And even something about our history is even better, where you're like, "Wow, this really happened? Like, there's nothing like that."
And it's scary because when we were coming up, that was at the forefront of all teaching. Like we had to understand, like, yo, this is what we went through. This is why we're going so hard. We want you to learn how to read. You gotta know math. Even though it doesn't make sense to you right now. But these key things were a privilege. You feel me? Back in the day, and that privilege could have still got you killed. So it's like you gotta at least you got to go twice as hard because they want you to fail. They already call you failures. You feel me? I had teachers, and they're in my acknowledgement page. Miss Goff, Miss Manning, Miss Shepard, Miss Williams, Mrs. Donovan. These teachers were like,
the fact you remember all your teachers' names is amazing, bro. I can't remember almost any of my teachers' names. Like none of them.
Are you remember them in a good way or?
Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, at the time when I was younger, like. I hated them.
Yes, I thought.
Like, why you keep telling me to do things?
That's why I asked. I was like, yo, is this a good thing or like I'm gonna remember you?
As you grow, and it's weird. Like as one of the challenging. I don't want to call myself a bat. As one of the challenging kids, because you had to I was just making sure you're working. You're using your teaching ability. You feel me? So I was just putting them to work a little bit. I was one of the challenging kids, but. For whatever reason, those are the teachers. The teachers that were the hardest on me are the teachers that I took to the most. They became my favorite teachers. You feel me? Because they gave you that mentorship, that second mother, that auntie, that cool auntie vibe. Where it's like, yo, listen, Miss Donovan came and she said, look, I need you to follow me, my pen as I go down this paper. Look, A, B, bam! And when I said the impact of the bam on the F that I had hit me like a punch in the gut, I was like, oh! I couldn't stop laughing. And she's like, yeah, you better get that up before the end of the day or you're gonna fail. And I was like, all right, cool, you feel me? But she's like, yeah, I love you, boo. And at the same time, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna give you this F. So I was like, all right, bet. And she gave me the opportunity to bring it up, but at the same token, it's like, yo, look, I'm not, as much as I like you, you're not skating.
Yeah.
So
that's a fact.
That's a life lesson. You do what you gotta do to get where you need to be. You feel me? And everyone isn't. No matter how much you feel that you should be entitled or something, or because I know you. Nah, it don't work like that.
Yeah. But you see, those are the lessons that I feel like today are being lost. Because I've seen teachers that won't go as hard.
Yeah.
That, and I feel like you need that to even though they're going hard on you, they know they're doing it for a good reason. Because I can remember some teachers teachers going in high school and even in college when I went to college, there were teachers that were just like, all right, this is what you got to do. Do the work, come back, boom. And then I had the teachers, and those are the classes you lose me, because I'm just like, all right, I'm just showing up, writing whatever the hell you put on the board, and I'm out. I don't care about that stuff. But I have the teachers that would go the extra mile, be animated, doing something that I could relate to, that I could understand. Math was probably my worst subject. And I remember this one math teacher, to this day, Mr. Otero. All my other math teachers, I don't remember a day in my life. But him, he was on the younger side. I want to say when I was in high school, he had to have been late 20s, maybe early 30s. He would make math it was I felt like a genius, because I was doing long division, I was doing fractions. I hate fractions.
Stuff we don't do now.
Stuff that I don't even use. I was like,
fractions.
My first semester was terrible. He started getting on me and was like, yo, you got to do X, Y, and Z. This is not acceptable. And then he would break down stuff, making it something understandable where I'm like, oh shit, this is not fucking Egyptian. This is just math. I could do this shit. And then it was crazy, because after I left that class, all the other math teachers, I was like, yo, it lost me again. It was crazy. But that specific teacher I remember, because he went the extra mile, he cared, and it made me want to do better. And it made me feel good, because I was like, all right, I can do this shit. It's not
it's not me, it's you.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's how you teach, and that's really a big thing. It's how you teach that. I learned that to this day. It's not about it's the person who's teaching. If you don't make this shit fun or something to connect to that student, it's not gonna work.
So you guys talking about teaching, and I know both of y'all work in the educational field.
Sure.
How does that feel? How do you feel that your effect are on kids now? Because I know you both talking about it, how much teachers impacted you. So what about your impact on them? What are you guys doing in your field to help these kids get it? What exactly do you do?
Me right now, I work since I wrote the book, I started working as a paraprofessional.
Okay.
So now I'm a teacher assistant within the school system. If you have a children's book, why wouldn't you want to be around children?
Exactly.
True.
So that's my mindset.
By the time you have a kid, bro, you're gonna be a master at work. I promise you.
Bro, listen, man, I feel like Man, the only thing that's holding me back is the finances, bro. You feel me?
Nah. Kids happen when it's supposed to happen. Like that's it.
Amen.
Yeah,
So
I don't care. Some people they say finance this, finance that. It's expensive, bro. It is what it is. It's gonna be expensive whether you balling or not. and the truth is that some people try to financially plan for it. You do. Right, but how many times do you hear someone that's like, "I'm getting financially ready for a kid," and then never have a kid?
Yeah,
and then you hear about the people that's like, "I'm not ready to have a kid." They be tomorrow like, "I'm pregnant. I got shorty pregnant." It's like, damn, bro.
And they be doing it. And I hats off all the time. Like all of my bros that I know have children, like I literally look up to y'all because. That's a human, bro. Y'all raising you. I say y'all just out here creating people, bro. Like you feel me?
I look at my daughter. I look at my daughter all the time, bro.
Come on, bro. In my hat, and y'all doing a great job. So
I look at my daughter all the time, bro. She's 9 years old, and sometimes I look at her, and I'm just there like. You a little fucking gangster, you little. I was like, yo, you definitely my kid, bro. I get it. Like, I see it. Like, there's things about her that I never taught her, bro. Never taught her.
Hereditary is a real thing.
A real thing, bro. Like, I'm around my daughter the times that I'm around her. She spends enough time around me, right? But we don't talk about cars. We don't talk about those things. She comes and brings cars up. Yeah. She comes like. I want to do this. Buy me this remote control car. I want to build this. I'm like, bro, I'm not even trying to get you into cars. Like,
that's dope. That's dope.
You know, and it is real. It's real hereditary. And like, you know, I hope that, you know, and things change, bro. Like my mentality has changed a lot as I had my kid. Every year with her makes me a little bit different. And I hope that, you know, the way you guys talk about teachers and how they impacted you impacts her that way, because that's the goal, right?
Word.
The goal is that you want her to go somewhere and you want your kids to meet amazing people like us here and have those amazing interactions that later on in life she can remember. Like the fact that you can remember all your teachers, that's great. Like I really can't remember my teachers, bro. I only remember one teacher, Mr. Rodriguez. This is the only nigga I remember. And you want to know why I remember him? Because he was gangster. the Spanish teacher, like
English teacher,
the English teacher,
he shoots movies now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and I only remember him because he used to keep it gully. Like he used to be in the classroom
sipping his coffee.
Yeah, and if you act up, he gave like this energy that he would slap you.
Like, I don't want no parts.
Yeah, and like of course I met other teachers along my life, like you know, but. I don't know, nobody, and I find it amazing that happened for you guys. Like I find that's dope that you could remember these people and say that this moment affected this. Yeah. You know, and you turned to be this, you know, this amazing individual that just wrote a book. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's talk about the book. Tell us a little bit about it. You know, there's by the way, where can we find it? Let's start with that.
Oh, okay. So you can order it directly from me, where you will get a signed copy from thefirstpeoplebook.com. It's on Amazon. It's in Barnes & Nobles, Walmart.com. You can get it from any other. It's in several different sites, but I know those three for a fact. Walmart, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble.
I love that. You're in Walmart. That's fire, bro.
Yeah, respect.
Everybody
when I say that, you're in Walmart, I'm like,
because Walmart is big, bro.
We talking Target? I thought Target was.
I mean, Target, yeah, but you know what?
When you I grew up uptown, I take to the red a little bit.
Yeah. It's because you know why? It's because we don't have Walmart.
We don't have Walmart out here.
We don't have Walmart. Ours is Target, whatever. That's a fancy way of saying it.
For real.
Yeah, but
that's a big deal, bro.
Walmart is a big deal because when you go away for college, everyone has a Walmart.
Yeah, everyone has a Walmart.
That's the movement, bro.
Yeah.
You go to these little towns. Everything they do revolves around Walmart.
And you want to find where it's at, you go to Walmart.
Yeah, bro. If they can't find it in Walmart, if they really can't find it in Walmart, then you see them like, I gotta pay full price.
Yep. Yeah. Like $10 gets you 40 packs of Capri Sun. That's right, baby. That's Walmart. That's Walmart vibe. So yeah, that's a big deal, bro.
How many pages is in the book? I got two questions. How many pages in the book?
I forget. What was it? I want to say. See, I just you know what I'm messing me up right now? I just uploaded the ebook and it uploaded like twice. So I want to say 66, but I'm sure that's wrong. That's definitely incorrect. That's the number I see.
It's probably with pictures and with the words on it too.
I'm I'm gonna go back to the picture because I do have something to say about that. But I wanted to ask you, what is the age demographic you're aiming with the book?
Well, it's listed from 7 to 11 years old. However, I feel like it's never too early to begin planting seeds within your children. Because kids do what you do, not what you say, and they do as they see you do. Mm-hmm. So that's the same thing. That's kind of redundant, but at the same token, just to reinforce it, be mindful the kids are watching. So if they see you reading, they're gonna read. If they see you tinkering cars, they possibly will have a love for cars.
Facts.
So I even read it to them if they're too young to pick it up and read it themselves. They're never too young for you to then have that bonding experience and read to your child. Yeah. The goal for the book was to plant the seed of the historical fact that we are the original people. You feel me? We are the first people. You can Google that. They said it's connected back to the mitochondrial Eve gene. Mm-hmm. It's back to a black woman. And the fact that they are now taking books out of the libraries, out of the schools. Bro, Black History Month is non-existent from what I can see. I could be wrong. But from what I can see, there's Valentine's Day month, you know?
Yeah, it's just a sentence. It's like, by the way, it's Black History Month. Like,
so it's crazy because I don't know if you heard, but like down south in like Florida, like they send home permission slips to saying like it's Black History Month. Do you give permission to let us teach your kid about X, Y, and Z, about anything Black culture? And it's crazy. Like they starting to remove books from the schools, from the libraries, and it's the fact that you need a permission slip to for your kid to learn history, like that's just it's outlandish to me.
They saying that pretty much they want to. I believe what you're alluding to has to tie in with the whole concept of like the critical race theory that they're putting. Yeah. So
what is that? I never heard of this.
Whereas they're excuse me, I definitely wrote the definition out to give you the legit definition, so I could pretty much they want to say like, yo, sorry.
Bring it up. I was trying to be accurate. It's nerds in the hood. We nerds. We take notes.
A set of ideas. Sorry about that. I appreciate y'all, bros. Critical race theory. A set of ideas holding that racial bias in an inherent part of Western history, especially in its legal and social institutions, on the basis of their having been primarily designed for implemented by white people. So they pretty much saying like,
wait, can you remember that?
Yeah. they trying to downplay like, yo, that's like bias. You're trying to say like, oh, that's what we did. Like,
yeah, they're trying to they want to make it seem like, you know, they don't want to put past transgressions onto.
I love how this
going forward.
The definition says holding a set of ideas, so it's not real. It's just an idea, right? Holding racial bias, yo.
And then peep how they got like Texas, they got Florida now. The new standards to require teachers to say enslaved people may have benefited from skills learned in slavery. Yeah. You feel me? So they're literally rewriting history and feeding it to our kids.
That's crazy.
And it's at
my
a point
man
where
says skills learned.
Yeah. Making it seem like whatever they learned.
I put you in chains. I put you in chains to learn farming.
Yeah.
For free for me. You know what I'm saying?
Even though if you think about it,
I killed a lot of you boys
before they even got there. So like, what do you mean? Why did you have to teach them? Because we brought them over to a thing, made them stay in one spot and make them learn a whole new set. But if you lived in Africa, they would have been learned farming. They would have been learned all
I've always had this weird idea, like, and I know I could be wrong, could be right, but we weren't there for that time, right? But I've always had this, like, when we talk about history and stuff, it's like, yo, you know, a boat sailed over, reaches land, and finds this culture, and then destroys that culture, right? But the thing is that culture that was there was doing perfectly sustainable life before that boat showed up. Yeah. So these were already amazing, genius people. Like the only difference was that, well,
they might have better technology.
It's not even it was just that the people on the boat come over and tell you this is history, but the history that was already there somehow gets erased.
Because the power of the pen, they said the pen is mightier than the sword, and they was using the sword and then cleaning it up with the pen.
Yep.
You feel me? So
they took them all out and then they wrote their own history.
That's where you have like the natives. They have their treaties and all that stuff. While they're able to have their reservations and get these stipends and you know what I mean, and grants, et cetera, because they were here when they showed up. So it's just like.
But that's one of the things I like when I first saw the book. I was like, you know, this is definitely important, especially for like kids growing up. You know, things that in your book that they probably won't see. You know, depending on where you from. Maybe, you know, and growing up in New York City, we'll probably hear these stories, you know, because, you know, our culture is, you know, mostly diverse. It's
being racist in New York is just crazy.
Oh, trust me, there is.
I know.
You go up north, trust me, I went to college up north. They don't.
I just had this conversation literally yesterday with somebody. I was just like, you know, I find it weird because I was telling someone about how I was going to interview and that we were talking about black people and the first people, whatever. And I was like, I find it weird for any New Yorker to tell me they're even a little bit racist or meet someone in New York that's slightly racist. Because my next question to them is, do you own a private house or an apartment building? Because if you own an apartment building, my man, you're not telling me you get in an all-white elevator. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you see,
but your neighbor that's worth 1.5 million and you're worth 1.5 million, chances are he might be a mixed cultured person. In New York. You know what I'm saying? And like the two people are like, oh yeah, well, you live in a building that's multicultural, bro. How are you even stepping outside?
Don't get it twisted. They're here, but it's also it's shown in different ways. Yeah. Not like, oh, I can't get on the elevator with this you know, this Latino or this black man. Like it comes in different ways now. We're in a different type of setting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So,
I wanted to get into these beautiful illustrations.
Yeah, the illustrations are dope.
Yeah, who did this for you? Like, what made you decide to go with these illustrations? Was it like a bunch of pictures put in front of you and you picked, or
it was a long, strenuous process. Found that. Thank you. I was fortunate enough to find the person on Fiverr. Samantha Jonas Rongo.
Samantha Jonas Rongo?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's her Fiverr name now. I don't remember, but I know that's her name. She's actually like artist. She does a lot.
And she did all the illustrations?
Yes.
Wow. That's dope. That's amazing. There's so many beautiful pictures in this book, guys. You definitely need to check it out.
The reason why first off, I went through a couple illustrators before stumble upon her, and they sold me on some images that they couldn't produce. So like if I didn't stick to my guns, you would not be looking at these type of photos right now.
So they try to like water it down type thing?
Yeah. So I thought I was going to get something similar to this, not as detailed as this, but it was like, all right, it's kind of what I'm going for. Like, I don't think I'm be able to get that.
What you wanted.
Yeah. And then it was like the same type of images, and they would switch the clothes around, and then they would probably move like a couple people from the last page, from the back to the front. And I was like, nah, bro, I can't. Yeah. It's not giving me the energy that I want the book to have that lead to everyone wanting to pick it up. And then she was able to provide me with some samples, and I was like, yes, like I need more of these. Like I need the images to say this pretty much. So I was giving her pretty much just painting a picture of like, yo, I want you to like feel that. This is how I want the book to feel. Yeah. This is how I want the images to feel, and
they pop. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful illustrations, man. I really like them. Like Kip said, like Devin keeps saying, they pop. They do pop, and I'm glad you stuck to your guns on that because it does. Like you pick up the first picture makes you want to pick up the book, and then once you turn a couple of pages, you can't front and say you don't want to look at more of the pictures and understand what is this book about. Like what was the author trying to tell you? Yeah, it's just really good, man. I'm glad you, like I said, I'm glad you stuck to your guns because I feel like that's a mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs, even ourselves, even us here at Nerds in the Hood, we can make that mistake sometimes. Like we know what we want, and because we're not getting it exactly how we want sometimes, we just kind of be like, all right, cool, this works. Yeah. We can make this work. But for you, you wanted it to have a hold on people, and it does. It does. And that's dope, man.
How many illustrators you went through before you found Samantha?
I believe at least like 3. And like it was like it's like kind of like a lengthy process because you got to communicate with them. I'm not sure if you ever use Fiverr. You got to talk them up. You want to see samples. You know what I mean? A lot of them are overseas, so the time zone difference.
So it took a while.
Yeah. That was like that's just the most stressful.
Did you think that at a point that he's like, damn, maybe I'm not gonna find what I'm looking for? Did you think like you were gonna cave?
Like, no, I didn't think I was gonna cave. Well, I feel like I was gonna settle.
Yeah.
Yes. Because everyone I described the photos to, I'm like, yo, bro, I want it to look like this, and they would send me samples like, yo, what about like these images? I'm like, nah. Like, then there was like a book my friend showed me. It was like, I think it's called like 1977. There's a book about, it was like I think it was by a black author, but the imagery was like, something along those lines. But nothing came close to what she produced. So it's like, yo, this is exactly what I wanted. Like, exactly what I
I'm glad you stuck to it, because like a lot of like creators would be like, damn, you know what? Let me just settle. Let me just try to get my stuff out. Like, and it's not really going to portray the idea that you wanted to save. So always stick to your guns. So I'm glad you did that, because it definitely it did wonders for sure.
Did you have like a set goal, time, like I want this book out by this time, or was it more like I'm working, when it's done, it's done. When I reach the point that I feel I'm ready, then I will release it? Or was it more like a deadline thing?
It more so was a idea that I mentioned, that I put out in the universe. I mentioned it, set it around the right person. They connected me with Bold Publishing, and the ball just got rolling. Like, it kind of started rolling quicker than I anticipated. You say you want to write a book, right? And I was like, yeah. Like, all right, so this is what I'm doing. I'm going to send you over, join my, I think they had like a free intro to book writing course, like something via Zoom. And then from there, we're going to have a conversation. We talk with some people. You're going to meet some other people that want to write books. And I'm going to send you a template, or an outline. You fill it out, send it back. So it's more so like just a couple of correspondences and then your book was damn near finished. You know what I mean? You just sent it off, and then they're like, all right, look, now I need you to correct this or reword this, or I need you to get it to this amount of pages, and I need you to, we need this amount of pages for it to be considered, like, you know what I mean? So it was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's easy, but it's kind of like homework, bro. Like, look, go home, do this assignment, bring it back to me. I'm gonna check it. And a couple of those, like, I work best off of that. Like, I'm not the planning to go travel guy. I'm the tell me the number and I'm a show up guy. You feel me? So that worked best for me. Tell me what you need so I can deliver, and I can just make it happen.
That's dope.
Tell us a little bit about the actual story of the book. So it's called The First People. What is the story to it?
All right, so there's a story of some beautiful skin, kinky hair, black, melanated individuals whose skin shone in the sun. They were living happily. They was living off the land, you feel me, connected and communicated with nature. Some other people showed up, brought their ways of life. It was pretty counter to what the first people were used to, like destruction. They started like raping and pillaging the grounds and utilizing it for their own personal use, to where now they're like, all right, the first people's like, yo, this kind of ain't what we really had in mind when y'all pulled up. And then from there, it's kind of, they had to use their voice and their ancestral knowledge to combat the forces of the other people. And then towards the end, they were able to live within harmony, because we always gotta close with peace and love. But we ain't gonna take no shit at the same time. You feel me? So
standing your ground is a crucial part of life.
Come on, use your voice, speak up for yourself, always advocate for yourself, kids out there, people out there. You feel me? Like, if you don't sit right with your spirit, that's a sacrifice in there. Like, a lot of people want to know what sacrifices in the industry. Like, going against yourself is a big sacrifice. So it's a fact. You feel me? When someone said something and you wish you said it and you leave, like, you beat yourself up more than what would have happened if you did say it. So it's like, you might as well get that out of your system, so because who knows, that person might have need to hear that. Like, the source was probably whoever you identify with. Your source was probably prompting you. They call it download. Some of my friends like to call it download. That probably was downloaded into you to give that message to that person. And I know that for a fact, where sidetrack real quick, apologize. Where it's like, I was going to the deli during Ramadan, Aqua's building me a sandwich, and and in the midst of building the sandwich, he shaved off a piece of the turkey and ate it. And I was like, yo, well, Ramadan, like the sun, like you broke your fast, like Ramadan, and then his whole demeanor, oh, astaghfirullah, like God forgive me, damn, like you feel me, like you made me feel like worse than did it. And I was like, yo, honestly, yo, it was just impressed upon my heart to ask you. I honestly don't know why I asked you, but so he was like, yo, like. So I'm like, all right, like that's your punishment. Like, so nice.
someone spotted you.
He maybe he thought he was low. You never know what his mindset, or he did it unconsciously. But it was just that 2 seconds of just being like, you know, I saw that.
Yeah. Yo, I wouldn't even say it was just more so a question. Like it was like literally an innocent question, and the response that I received, I was like, oh shit, like
you had a note.
Yeah, damn, like bro, he was distraught. He was telling me, oh, at home, you don't even understand.
He started going
like, to the way you made me feel. I was like, I was just like,
my fault.
Let me
get my sandwich.
Let me grab my coffee and go. I'll holler at you, right?
I'm like, damn, but like, yo, you needed to feel that because who knows?
So what is your so you practice Ramadan, so that means your belief is what?
I'm Muslim now. They say Africans, people of African descent, don't convert to Islam. We revert because that's what we initially started with until Christianity was introduced. So I reverted to Islam. I was raised as a Seventh-day Adventist. Went to Catholic school for high school.
Full around education you got.
Yeah, I mean for the most part, it's just more like it never made sense to me. I always had a lot of questions. We kind of going left. I don't know if this matters.
No.
But yeah.
It's an educational purpose, bro.
But for the most part, like yeah, man, I was just always interested into the esoterics. That's what I learned that it's called. Like all the spirituality, the stories.
Esoterics? I never heard that word.
Yeah, spirituality. If you we keep it like that. It's just all the schools of thought, you know what I mean, in regards to religion and all that stuff. So like we call it, Jamaicans will call it the sciences, depending on how you like voodoo and all that stuff. I'm interested in all that stuff because it's all religion. Somebody looks at it in a certain aspect. It's just a matter of learning the history, learning the knowledge in the knowledge. So Seventh-day Adventist, grew up Seventh-day Adventist, went to Catholic school, learned about Islam. It resonated with me because it's more so promoting self-love to kind of dumb it down in a sense. Whereas far as like, build yourself up to be the best person because that's like the best way you could serve Allah. And then you being the best you're helping those around you because you can't be being the best you and you're going outside and treating somebody like shit. You feel me? And then realizing that we are, as far as the five, I'm interested as well in the 5% nation. I feel like that was my biggest introduction into Islam, where as far as they're teaching you that the black man is God. You feel the black man and women are the original inhabitants of planet Earth. So it's just more so giving you the power, like, yo, you are this, so act as such, treat the world as such, help the children. You feel me? Teach people in a way where they can digest it, receive it, and then go teach it to someone else. You feel me? So I'm prompting me to write the book like, yo, this is kind of in layman's terms. Let me give this to you so that way you can then digest it however you digest it and go give it to someone else, or just spark the thought for you to say, yo, I heard about us being the first people. Like, what you talking about over there? You know what I mean?
To start that conversation for sure.
This is like a conversation starter right here. I mean, no lie, you could read the book and talk with your family about it, not just kids. Like,
it's interesting. I love how a lot of the either my peers or people that are older than me, they see the book and it's kind of like a breath of fresh air almost. We're like, yo, we need that. Like, it's kind of like, oh yeah, like, yo, you know what I mean? Kind of like, I've been looking for something like this and I forgot that I was looking for it. But now that I see it, like, I'm happy I found it. You know?
That's very true. That's very true. That's very true. Because when you dropped the book, that's how I felt. I was like, the first people, I'm like, wow, bro. I'm like, we need a book like this. We need to know about the first people. And I knew once you wrote it in the cover, I'm like, and I know you did well. Like, I know from when the book dropped and I got to check it out, I was just like, I know this guy stuck to the roots and he got to the point of what the first people meant. Like, this is what the point of the book is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad for you, bro. I know my boys here in Nerds of the Hood were very hyped that you doing this because this is rooted, bro. We're literally talking about how Florida, Texas, these places are trying to eliminate this. They're trying to erase who we are, even though yet majority of the people that run shit are black.
Yeah.
Like the higher ups are of white culture and Caucasian culture, but there's a lot of strong people that are black out here. Like there's a lot of people that get overlooked because they're black and have a message, but skin color holds them back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's people out here that have some of the greatest inventions, but their skin color holds them back.
Bro, even black anime characters, they don't get no shine. Come on, like talk about it. Don't act like we ain't on.
I love that you brought up anime,
like,
son.
Come on, bro. Like don't act like I don't know.
Let's brought it up.
Yeah, and you brought that up, bro. What animes you watching, son?
All right, so first of all, guys, I just wrote a children's book, so it's hard. It's hard to keep up with all these episodes, but like,
you make a black anime.
Yo, you know one of my.
It wouldn't be the first, but
it wouldn't be the first, right. But it
just adds to the catalog.
It would just add. Right.
I would say this: my girl is writing a book about the different chakras, and it's like a children's book. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be talking about this. So it's dope. I seen the images and I know the concept is about to be fire. But
chakra is amazing, yo.
Bro, it's dope.
And
I feel like it's for the kids.
I feel like Naruto, like the mainstream one, Naruto taught people about chakra and shit like that. There's a lot of kids that didn't know anything about that stuff. But you making faces because you're thinking of all anime. We're talking about current time, okay?
Nah, but
not the old man anime.
What about Dragon Ball Z, bro? We grew up on Dragon Ball Z. Like they talk about that too.
We grew up on that. We are older cats. I'm talking about current time. The biggest one of current time that's holding it down that these little kids know about is Naruto, bro. If you tell kids Dragon Ball Z, some of them
don't know about the key.
They don't even know
the key. The inner key.
So there's no other anime type where they talk about maybe harnessing your energy or controlling a certain state or anything like that. There's no other show that maybe just got adapted last week, maybe.
You're talking about old ones.
I'm not talking about old one. I just said it just got adapted.
I mean,
Avatar, man.
Facts. I was in that joint. I ain't going front.
Come on.
You're right.
Your Avatar's like a grown kid.
That's a grown man show, right? That's a grown person show.
What do kids watch? I'm like, oh yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
So,
if you bring a little kid right now and ask him if you watched The Last Airbender, he gonna be like,
Netflix show.
He gonna say the Netflix show.
He wasn't even with it.
Yeah, bro.
I know kids that watch.
Aang didn't hit for some reason. Aang didn't hit kids today. Aang don't hit.
Aang too peaceful, bro.
Yeah.
These kids wanna dance and do all of that.
But in the cartoon, Aang is more. Aang is the Aang in the the live action is not Aang in the cartoon. Like two different people. That's why I kind of didn't really like it because I'm just like that's not really Aang.
I feel like they would probably like the movie more than the cartoon because my nephew was not banging.
M. Night Shyamalan.
You wasn't banging with this?
Hell no.
Wait. Which one? The Netflix one or that?
No, the one that first one.
Oh no. I don't even talk about that.
I don't even acknowledge that.
I don't even exist in my brain.
I did. I take that's out of my
that's back there with that Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, that the whitewash,
bro. Burn them joints, bro.
That needs to be burned from my brain.
Is a TV show. Yeah.
It follows along the line of the Nickelodeon show that came out. So I like it in that sense. The actors not so much, but I like that they stay close to the story. They make the bending actually look good with the animation. It looks good, but I'm always gonna have a critique. But it's a 5.
I agree with you, Tony. Tony left a comment. He said the live action is okay, but they skip the lessons that were learned in the cartoon.
It's fact. It's a fact.
They
skip a lot.
You mean like the what's the word I'm looking for?
Everything
like
about
the life lessons, the life lessons that you do, like you go through life. Because
the actual animated series had underlining.
They had 8 episodes. They wasn't gonna touch on all. They wasn't gonna do.
I mean, I don't understand why Netflix be doing that for the ones that
they could
probably.
Made 10 episodes.
Yeah, not even, bro. They could do 2 seasons.
But they're gonna be more seasons.
But they could stretch it, bro. There's so much information from that joint. Like Tony saying,
everything is on a budget, bro. They can't. If anything live action,
they probably was scared because of that last Airbender. They was like, yo, we don't really know if they going.
They wasn't trying to go off the deep end. They said they gotta make the things that they feel need to be right, follow the story, make the animation look good. And if that was the case, they did it.
I feel like they did a great job.
I think they did. I think they did.
That they omitted, I feel like they kept like the meat
of it. Yeah, that's what they did.
The whole concept of the Avatar was dope.
Yeah, I liked it. And
the character selections were awesome too. I didn't like the
Qatar.
Nah, Qatar was cool.
I didn't really like.
I didn't like the Zuko's sister.
Oh, Zuko's sister Azula.
Like Azula was dope. Like they did a great
in the cartoon.
The friends though, like the makeup was cool, like how they look. But as far as their personalities, I'm like, nah. Like,
it didn't really.
She ain't do not one cartwheel. One, she's not morbid enough. Like,
that's a fact.
She was talking too much.
They didn't hit the personality, and that's what I think that's what they lacked. They lacked on the personality of each character. I think Sokka was pretty kind of on par.
Yeah.
Qatar was, so what? I didn't really like her as for that thing. Aang was just like left field. They made him like too like peaceful and like he's supposed to be a jokester, like making like laughs and all that. It was just more like on the peace side, like, oh no, I don't want to do. I didn't really like that. But I mean, all in all, I think Zuko was pretty good.
Yeah,
Zuko was good, and Uncle Iroh was dope too. I like how they did that.
Yeah.
If you had to name top 3 animes for you, what would it be?
Me?
Off the top of your head, it could be old, new, whatever.
Yo, Ninja Scroll was like I feel like that's the first anime I could truly remember. Because you already know they had like that scene and all that shit. So I was like, yo, they got cartoons out here like this. And I seen it. I think my little brother's dad. You feel me? So I think he was like the first. He used to like a big anime dude, and that was the one that I'm like, yo, bro, like the fuck these shits exist. He used to watch mad different, but that's the one that stuck. Dragon Ball Z, of course. My dad used to wake up, bro. This is how it works in my mind. I feel like when Dragon Ball Z used to come on Saturdays, my dad used to hit the ceiling with the broom for me and my brother to come downstairs, my older brother to come downstairs.
Cause ain't no rewatch, bro. Ain't no rewatch. You catching it down.
We skipped 2 Saturdays in a row, and that's how I feel like we ended up in church, bro. I feel like he was like, oh yeah, motherfuckers, y'all want to spend time with me? Y'all going to church. Bro, I remember it. One day we was just going to church. Here's your offering money. Get out the door.
Get out the door.
I was like, yo, bro, I'll take that 1-2 mornings back. And then Dragon Ball Z, and I would say possibly Naruto, but I feel like I can't really choose that because it ran away from me. Like I couldn't even, you feel me?
Yeah.
But it's definitely up there because I feel like they did a great anime. You know what? I think I like Samurai Jack too.
Samurai Jack?
Yeah, the Samurai Jack and Naruto are 2 different planes, so I respect it. Samurai Jack was ahead of his time. Like,
for real.
It was way serious. Like it was.
He used to get me mad though. I'm like, yo, just kill this dude, bro.
Stop like the graphics wasn't even that crazy. Like it wasn't we had way better animation at that time. But Samurai Jack just hit that like adult note, low key.
No, I'm lying. Yu Yu Hakusho might be my third because that came on at night.
Right before you go to sleep. That's the one.
I like Samurai Jack over Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho was fire too.
I'm not knocking him for liking it. I was like, it's borderline anime, but I just was like,
explain that to me.
Okay, so.
I mean, he getting real nerdy. That's
I want to know, like.
So there's certain shows that are like on the spectrum where they weren't made by anime studios, but people consider them anime because of like the stories they're telling. So those ones are like Samurai Jack, Avatar, they said, and The Legend of Korra, the Boondocks. They were like on the spectrum. Like they were, especially Boondocks and Avatar, because they were made by animation studios, but they were made by like studios in America. So people are like, well, if they weren't made by Japanese people, then we're not counting it.
Haters.
No. The guy who made the Boondocks openly said like, yeah, it is not anime.
No, it's not. I don't.
He was like, it's just a love letter to anime, but it's not an actual anime. But people will fight it to the death and say it's an anime.
So does Afro Samurai fall in that same category?
So Afro Samurai was actually made as an anime. So it is an anime,
With Samuel Jackson as Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson playing the main character and the sidekick.
The sidekick, and he was one of the villains too.
Yeah.
He was the voice for one of the villains that they fought. I believe it was the Rocket dude.
He might have been. I don't remember. But I know it was definitely.
My man was running checks up in that joint.
But Samurai Jack was made by the same guy that made, if I'm right, Dexter's Lab. So that's why they don't really count it as a anime.
Yeah, Dexter was my joint too.
Yeah. See, so it was made. I think it was either the same guy that made that show or the same guy that made Two Stupid Dogs. It was one of the two. But anyway,
I used to bang with Two Stupid Dogs.
Two Stupid Dogs and Samurai Jack made by the same people. It was like, wow.
Yeah, it was one of those.
That's two different worlds.
Yeah.
Dogs.
So that's why there people are like, well, it's not really an anime. It's just that because he's a samurai, he's dealing with like samurai things.
Yeah.
And time travel. They're like, well, that's all elements of anime right there.
Right.
So because of that, it's Spectrum, but it's not there. But it's fine. You said Yu Yu Hakusho, great switch up.
Yeah.
Right.
We went off the rail, but we came back.
I was
off the page.
I was
We came back on the rail.
He wanted to throw his nerd red flag.
I was like, nah, I don't care.
I haven't watched anime in dumb long, so I had to really think. I've even stuff are coming back to me. I'm like, yo, what did I?
Yo, you gotta
I feel that, bro.
You might have to give him some. Maybe if he got some time.
Yeah.
The ones that I'm recently watched, sorry to cut you off.
Nah, you go.
What is it? Chainsaw Head?
Chainsaw Man?
Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
I was watching that for a little bit, then I lost track of it, and now I'm watching the new, what is that? Ninja Kamui?
That's my shit. That's where it's at.
I'm about to let it go. I can't do this. Wait for episode shit.
Yeah. You gotta let it run. For a little while. Let it run so you can binge.
But you know why that's now I was gonna say something else, but now you brought up something better. You know why that's such a good show, man? Because of what you said about Yu Yu Hakusho. Because I heard you about to say it before I went all nerd. Yu Yu Hakusho and Cowboy Bebop, and there was a few others.
Yeah.
They came on. They were Adult Swim's first crop of anime.
Come on.
And it made me love anime because they were just these hidden shows late at night that nobody knew about. And you're like, oh shit, now they're cursing. There's blood. And you're like, oh my God, this is hype. And Ninja Kamui is doing the same thing.
Yeah. Rurouni Kenshin.
Yes.
Bro, I feel like when they first dropped it, that joint was graphic, and then they kind of like made him all like smile and stuff. Like, yo, he was not smiling. I remember when I first he's so cutting it up.
Episode 1, my man was slaying people.
Bro, they killed his fam. Some crazy.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. Because he swore off killing. So in the. And he doesn't want people to know who he is because then they'll come and kill his friends and shit. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah. That's why like episode 4 or 5, he's like, yeah. And you're like, wait.
I'm like, yo,
episode
bro, this
2,
is...
he was just wilding.
I know he could... Bro, I seen you kill mad.
Yeah. Once he swore off killing, he was like, goofy guy. I'm a goofy guy. And then they're like, you'll fight for your girl. He's like, oh. And you're like, yeah, I get it.
Well, that was my joint. I bet he was cool.
You see? So a lot of those shows came on at night and you're like, oh, snap. And for a while, nobody was caring about Toonami at night or Adult Swim. And then this show came back, and you're like, oh. And it's so funny because that's the only new episode. Because right after that, they'll play a rerun of like anything else. Yeah. They'll be like, stay tuned for a new episode of Naruto. You're like, that's not new. I know it's not new. I'm out of here. I saw what I need to see. I already know what's going to happen. I am good. Yeah. That's it. So shout out to that's dope, man.
Have you seen any of the other new heat like Jujutsu Kaisen? Have you checked those out yet? Demon Slayer, I was messing with for a little bit. Still, what is it like? Attack of the Titan. I was messing with for a little bit. I feel like Attack of the Titan might be more on your. It's a lot of fucking reading though,
bro. Bro, being an avid anime consumer, you have to have the dedication, bro. And who you telling, bro? Hats off to you guys, bro. Like,
I don't know if you're familiar with the One Piece fans, like this man over here that's been doing this for 20-something years.
I'm not even gonna start. I refuse to start. When I seen where it was at, I was like, yo, bro, I'm never gonna catch up.
I'm never gonna catch up.
Like Naruto, once I missed like that once they like that one gap, and I didn't get back on after the gap. I was like, yo, it's gone. It's gone.
I missed the train. I'm not
and my man then had 2 major villains. Eric's like,
I missed the train. That's it.
Bro. So I'm on some like, yo, I just gotta give me like the synopsis. Like, yo, he's still doing this. He got word. He had to say, I can see my he Hokage now. He made it. I just gotta make sure he's doing good out there.
That's why they came back and said, my man Hokage now.
Yeah, kids.
Yo, that's a real shit. How's Naruto doing? He got a kid?
He got a kid?
He up? He up? He married that stalker chick? Good for him. He made
I always knew he liked that.
I knew he was a crazy motherfucker.
That's dope.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh man. I'm gonna ask you one more question. You kind of already answered this, but I wanted to just, like we said, it's the end of Black History Month. We appreciate you coming up here and representing Black culture with the first people. But it's also the start of Women's Month. So I wanted to just ask you, who are some important women who impacted your life and just help you get to this point?
You could go down the line.
I mean, you said so many when you said that you have people mentioned in your book. I was like, that's amazing.
We could start. Yes, these women specifically, as well as a number of others. But I just like to sum it all up by saying all Black women. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Because they say all life came from the Black women. So if it wasn't for the Black women, we wouldn't be here. Yeah. You feel me? So thank you, sisters, mothers, aunties. At the same token, we could go through the line. We have Mrs. Goff, Dr. Goff. We have Mrs. Shepard, Mrs. Williams, Mrs. Manning, Mrs. Donovan. We have my stepmother. We have my mom, my grandmother. You feel me? Just like you don't necessarily appreciate, because as young men growing up, like even within like the kingdom, if you like, they said it's best to study animals like in certain aspects of like
how they treat the other,
like the tribal, the village, the community aspect,
like the fact of the wolf pack. Exactly. And how they move and how other animals. I totally get that. I've heard that.
So focusing on the maturity, that the stage of transitioning from a child to a young adult or a young man, at that point where your mom's influence isn't no more valid, for lack of a better term, like when you kind of getting a little snappy to your mom and you kind of like being a little like your balls is hanging a little bit, like I like girls now, like I'm over here, like I bought my first pair of sneakers. You start feeling yourself, like you don't necessarily appreciate the wisdom that they were attempting to impart on you. And then once you get through that cusp and you pass 25, I feel like that's when we like, all right. Then you kind of like, yo, ma, like you start checking for mom again, auntie, or yo, miss this or miss that. So you tend to lean back on them, like, all right, so now the full circle comes around where we can hold back those conversations and you know your place, like, all right, my goal and my purpose is to more so take care of my mother now and make sure that she doesn't want for anything, or she's like, and like we saying, we talking like you spin the block, taking mom out to the parties ever so often, or you feel me, taking care of our significant others.
Yeah, I don't want to get too personal, but the other day on your Instagram, you posted a video of your moms, and you were telling your moms like, go get up off the bed and come watch. Yeah, your grandmother, and you were telling her, yo, get up off the bed, come watch TV. You can't lay in bed all day, and that resonated with me because, I come home and my family is older, and I'm the only guy in my crib, and in the beginning, those were things I didn't really even care about. Yeah. Like it was just something I overlooked. But as I've gotten older, I understood that video so much, because it's like, yo, get up off the bed, let's go chill, man. Like, let's just have like this 20-30 minute interaction where you're not just laying down wasting energy.
And being in the West, growing up in a Jamaican household on Sundays, bro, the parents are famous for like just busting in your doors, opening the windows, let some light in the place. What are you still doing in bed? Why is this on the floor, dude? So I'm also like, yo, the tables have turned. Like, why are you, it's Sunday, like, what are you doing? Like, get off the bed. Yeah, that's a fact. That's usually what happens. Yeah, for real. Like, yo, it's literally like, what he said, once a kid, twice. What? Yep. Once a, how you say it?
I think it's once an adult, twice a child.
Yeah. So, like, I'm literally like seeing, like, do you remember when you first seen like the grades or the old, like the age in your parents' face? Like, that shit hit me. I was like, oh shit, like, they get old, bro. Like my dad.
It comes quick, yo. It comes quick. You're like, yo, what the hell? Like, just like last year, you didn't look like this. Now it's like, you know, you don't want to say that to them, like, yo, you're getting old, mom, and all that, but like you can see it, like turn, and like, you know, because these days, these years, they start piling up. They flow. Like, I feel like last year was like yesterday. And it's like, now it's like these things just pile up, and you see it on people. You see it, and it shows.
Within a year, I seen my grandmother, she, like, the Facebook, you know how to do, like, last year, this time.
Yeah.
within a year, bro, my grandmother memory and shit started slipping, like early signs of dementia and Alzheimer's, all that shit. And I'm like, yo, bro, what the fuck happened? Only thing I contributed was the beds, and that's like a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But at the same token, it's just like, bro, like, that's how quick shit can happen. You feel me? And it's like you just gotta be there. You gotta be present, and you just see how, like, the things that they hold on to. You feel me? Like my mom told me that my grandma, like, they got into it, and she's like, yo, don't worry, my grandson gonna be here. And she's like, who? She's like, what's his name? She's like, it don't matter, but I know he's gonna be here. He gonna show up. You feel me? So it's like, the things that they hold on to, it means something. You feel me? And you just gotta, like you said, we just gotta keep making these positive memories, because who knows what sticks? Who knows what seeds you're planting?
Yeah,
we just gotta keep, you know.
I always connect so well with my brothers that take care of their grandmother, because I was raised by my grandmother. I took care of her for so long, and, you know, she passed away like 2 years ago, and like that was tough for me. But my mom's always been in my life. My mom's there. Me and my mom have a great connection, but it's something about my grandma, bro.
Wisdom.
Yeah, like my grandma holds weight.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my grandma holds weight, bro. Like that's the OG. That's the big OG.
That comes from pretty much our culture. That's cultural. You feel me? Like, as far as the elders within the tribe, within the village, we gotta revere. We gotta make sure they're good. As they age out and they get closer to the transitional period, that's when we gotta cater to them more, because now that's the old wisdom, like the old life going out to leave room for the new life. You feel me? And they say, once as one gone, one born. You feel me? So if you think about it, you tend to see elders and babies, like infants, kind of like become the glue. For whatever reason, the baby will always want to go to the grandparent, because I feel like it's like some form of connection, however it works, where it's like, yo, they understand each other. Like, that's pure innocence, all knowing children. And then like the elders is kind of like, yo, look, your life, you gotta understand, yo, this is about to be real. You feel me? Like, let me hold you and give you what I got. You feel me? It's like more so, that's my spiritual take on it. You feel me? What do I know? You feel me?
Everybody's different, bro. Like, truth be told, bro, when my grandma passed away, I didn't go see her in the hospital. She passed away. I was one of the only people that didn't go. And like, you know, there's a little bit of regret there, but there isn't, because I couldn't, as much as of the man I am, I could not, like, even just saying it kind of hurts me right now. I'm like tearing up, bro. But I could not let the last memory, my last thought, be my grandma on that bed. It just didn't settle right with me. It didn't settle right with me, and I purposely didn't go there. And I voiced my opinion of why I'm not going there, and, you know, but it was just because I have this vision of this happy super thoughts, strong good energy, like, come on, bro, black woman, like, you know what I'm saying, too. You know,
sometimes your grandma would rather, like, if you're
and you know, maybe she did want me to come, maybe she didn't, but she know where we stand.
Bro, that's all that matters. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I struggle with that, and then why I personally feel that there's nothing wrong with that, because it's like you that's a means of protecting your energy. You're protecting your mind. You're protecting yourself from negative imagery and negative influence on your personal relationship with your grandmother. Like, you know what you had. You know where your heart is. Like, if I want to safeguard myself from seeing you in a state that doesn't serve me, like, that's not being selfish. That's just being considerate to myself. You feel me? If you don't put you first, who's gonna do that for you? So if I'm hurting myself so my family can feel like I care, like, who's really being inconsiderate here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't ever feel negative about that, because at the end of the day, like, you was always there for Granny. You feel me? Like,
right
type situation. And I man, the way my dad and my family kind of look at death, people call me cold-hearted, but it's like, nah, like, bro, I'm the one at the funeral cracking jokes. You feel me? Like, my dad is an asshole. He walked up, my grandfather died. He walked up to when he's going to the pew, he slapped him on his head, like, yo, this guy gave me mad beat. Wow. When I was growing up, like,
hold that one before you book.
You 2 times, so it's like,
hold that one before you go down there, bro.
It's
Remember
inevitable,
that,
bro. It's inevitable, and then you could just be grateful enough to understand, like, yo, you were able to spend the time with her in her transitional period, and it wasn't abrupt.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Yeah,
so it's like people, they don't understand. Like that's a whole spiritual thing too, as far as the transitioning period out. Like that's a thing too. We only give celebration and all that stuff when new life come in, but like, yo, we gotta celebrate life going out too. You feel me? We gotta also remember that energy never dies. So like,
yeah, it is true, bro. It's
we still here. Like you can always
so much
do
to
reverence
that.
for the dead.
There's so much to that, bro. Even like the new life thing, there's so much to that, bro. Like having a kid, I can talk to people and instantly tell you don't have a kid.
Yeah.
And it's because of the new life and that energy change and that growth like that you get personally. It's not something I can teach you.
Yeah.
You have to. Eventually, all of you will experience that, and then we'll come back to it years later and be like, "Remember when I was talking about that shit?"
That's dope. It's just like that. That's all it is, man. Yeah. I mean, I like to say that we should definitely honor all the women that are very influential in our lives, that are whether they're living or not, because that's what this month is about. That's not just the women that paved the way for, their right for equal rights and stuff of that nature, or were the first woman to do something, but just all women in general who've paved the way for us to like want to write a book, want to do podcasting, just anything that helps us become better men.
We wouldn't be here without them.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. Like,
that's how we entered the world. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
and his amazing mom created this amazing gentleman right here, Phillip Nicholson. It's funny. It's just funny for me because, this, like I said, it's my boy, and like I know a lot of my boys' full names, but because of our high school, but we don't say the full name. So when we say the full name, I'm just like, yeah, nigga, I know your government.
Yeah. I know you. I know for real.
Even him, he be saying ramen on the phone. I'm like, yo, not many people say my fucking last name.
He's not. But
tell the people where again one last time.
Wait, hold on. Before you do that, I did want to bring a touch back on the book. Just again, because we just been bigging you up all like.
Appreciate it.
Congrats again on the book. Like, it's definitely very important. Like Ant said, like I work in a school too, and it's so good to like a lot of the teachers that I work with, like they're white, and and it's like maybe a few of us who are like either black, Latino, and all that. So and all our kids are either black, Spanish, like they come from all walks of life, and we always try to. I know me personally, I try to incorporate like I want them to see images that represent themselves. So like anything I'm printing out, and like I do special education, so I work with a lot of kids with autism. So when you say the age ranges from like 7 to like 12, those are my kids right there. Yeah. So I have a lot of them who are reading, and like I try to put as many books in front of them that show themselves. Like anything that helps them learn. Like I'm trying to use a Spanish kid, a black girl, like and I want them to see, and they see that they're represented. They're reading these stories that are them. So like when I saw this, like it just thought of my kids. I'm like, yo, I gotta see if I could get my hands on a book, and I'm gonna bring this in because I want them to read. And there's this, and it just brings to mind one of the kids I work with. He's like a whiz. He goes through books like it's nothing. Mm-hmm. And I'm always trying to do something for him, though I know it's like he's gonna learn something, and then he's gonna ask questions because he always asking questions. Like he'll ask a question a mile a minute. What's this? What's this? What's that? What's that? What's this about? Da 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 da. So like I want him to ask questions about something that relates to him. Yeah. So like big ups again, because this is definitely big. Like a lot of like I said, there's not a lot of kids books that explains like where a certain like background is from, especially like African descent. They don't see that. We don't see that, especially in schools. We see it. We were talking about it earlier. Like that's not really in schools like that. So it's good to see. I'm gonna get a hand on this book. I'm definitely gonna try to bring this in my school. Hopefully I can get it in there. And just congrats. It's big things, and I hope you do more.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And it goes without saying. We do a segment on this show where we basically tell people like what they need to stop sleeping on and what's underrated, what's out there, even if they don't know about it or if they do know about it. So we are unanimously naming your book our sleeper pick of the week, bro.
I appreciate that.
He was like, where you going with this? What's going on?
I said, don't sleep on this.
Don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
It's
definitely
sure, not just for kids, yo. You could, if you
there's some people out here that need to read that book.
Yeah, there's a lot of people I know. Especially some of my boys who I grew up with, like they wouldn't. You can't even tell them about like anything of their descendants. Like they wouldn't know. Like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, I'm black. I'm from the block. I'm from the block. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
I find it interesting because we grew up. All of us here grew up in multicultural homes. Like, different, some kind of culture, some kind of diversity. And then I meet people on the street, and I'm like, what's your culture? Like, what's your culture food? Just that simple question, and they can't answer that. They don't know. They talking about like, well, I grew up on like, cheeseburgers. I'm like, bro, that's not.
It's American culture.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I grew up thinking everybody ate rice and peas, bro. Like straight up. I thought that was the normal meal. Rice and peas was mandatory.
I was like, what's this? Like, what's this? Just plain white rice and peas?
Pasta shit.
Pasta go crazy. Pasta go crazy. I love pasta, but when people are like, yeah, I got pasta, I'm like, bro, what's about?
The rice. That's too funny.
You want to let the
let them know where we can find the book, where they could, tell them to follow you, everything. Put out your info.
Okay, once again, Phillip Nicholson, author of the First People's book, children's book. You can find it on my website. You can get a signed copy on the firstpeoplebook.com. It's on Amazon, where you could get the paperback, the hardcover, or the Kindle version. Walmart, Barnes & Nobles, and Target. I'm leaving this one with you guys here. I'm going to sign it. I'm also going to get you a copy of the ebook.
Oh, yeah.
So that way you could throw it up on a smart board.
I got a bunch of smart boards.
Yeah, so for sure. You could make that happen for the kids. But yeah, man, get you a copy, put it in your household, read it to your kids, share it with your co-workers, however it is a good present. The goal is to plant seeds. They're trying to erase our history, try to redistribute their story and tell it it's our story, which it's not the case. And we're living in interesting times where we gotta definitely double down on the at-home education. So start by planting seeds of pride, self-love, and knowledge of self. Why not? So again, I appreciate you in advance. Thank you for the support, and thank you for inviting me on your show, bro.
For sure. 100%, bro. 100%, bro. I fucks with the book, man. You my boy, like I said a million times. Like, me and you go back. Like, me and you stayed. And I love the fact that we make an effort to keep the connection.
That's a fact.
We make an effort. Like, we always talk to each other when niggas not hear from each other for a little bit. Even just a little, like, you know what I'm saying? And I love that, bro, because, we're all trying to do amazing things. You
doing it. We're not trying. You say when you try, you leave room for failure. So we doing it, bro.
Yeah. We doing amazing things. We doing amazing things. This book was so great, bro. I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of just where we come from and how you're doing it, bro. Like, I want to see my people eat. Like, that's the goal, bro. That's the goal. Like, at the end of the day, I want my boys to be as successful as possible, bro. That's the goal, yo. And I turned the book around because I want them to see the picture on the back. I want them to understand that this dreadlock nigga right here wrote this book, yo.
You're doing so good.
You're doing so good.
Okay. On that note, we're gonna wrap. No, you're good. You said you were doing very good. Yeah, you got there. And I was like, all right, man.
This for y'all real quick.
Yes. While you're doing that. Folks, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to us on any of the podcast streaming platforms that we present our show on, we will put the links in the description so you can go and purchase this wonderful book. We'll make sure that you can catch it so that way you can buy the book.
Shout out to the chat too. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. We had I think it was like up to like 45 people. Like, come in and out of the room, tapping in, checking in with my boy right here, checking in with the Nerds in the Hood. And like, we got more coming for y'all.
Yep. And make sure you can catch that on our social media at Nerds in the Hood, NERDZINTHEHOOD, where you can find all of these great things and more. Anime rap intros, clips of the show, upcoming episodes. And like I said, the link so you can get this wonderful book. So we're going to
head
people,
out. Man. Get it into your library, guys. Teach your kids something.
Teach your kids something.
Plant those seeds.
Yes, that's better. Plant those seeds. Teach your kids something. Teach them some
That's
respect.
how we used to learn.
That's why. That's what it is. That's how I grew up on it. Yeah, that's what, once I heard that, I was like, that's old school shit right there. Anyway, we're going to catch you next time. This has been a great history lesson. Courtesy of your boy Mar Black,
Ham McGee,
Young Dev,
Phillip Nicholson, author of the First People's Book.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nerds of the Hood, we are out of here, people.
Yeah,
peace, good night. Catch you next time.
Later.
Happy Black History Month, happy Women's History Month.
For real.
All that. Happy Dominican Independence Day.
Word, I wore my Dominican shirt today. I did. I was like, we talking heritage and shit, I'm coming out.
Got be
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
You got to get that. You got to talk to him. Talk to him more fight.